Hello there once again, and welcome to The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers. You already got your hat on.
Well, yes, and we're going to be talking about the Tulsa Drillers, and I think we ought to wear a Tulsa Drillers hat.
All right, Mike Melega. You know, the kids today wear them that bill flat. I always I'm still a traditionalist. I like mine rolled up a little bit.
Well, I was worried about when we talked about doing this. I thought I'm gonna end up with a bad ball spot day.
Well, you're a former catcher.
Not
too,
a bad hair
right?
day,
So
but a bad ball spot.
You're used to wearing your hat.
I am.
backward.
Everything was backwards.
It's been a while since you've crouched behind the plate, though. I'm
Yes,
guessing.
well, I could still crouch. I just couldn't get up.
Our guest today is Mike Melega. He's the general manager of the Tulsa Drillers. We're going to learn about minor league baseball in Tulsa. Coming up today on The Verdict. Stay with us.
I have a doctorate in American Indian Studies and Comparative Cultural and Literary Studies. I focus on Native American arts and especially representations of American Indians. My name is Tracy Morris, and I am an educator, a scholar, and a business owner, and I am Chickasaw. I'm extremely interested in how Natives have been represented in the media and how we represent ourselves in the media. We have a unique opportunity right now with broadband and with new media. It's an open playing field. I do believe that it gives us a power to represent ourselves and a power to change our own destiny. Anybody with a cell phone, with a good phone, and an idea and a computer can go out and make a movie. For the first time, we can represent ourselves. We can tell our own stories, and to be seen for who we are now, not the victims of the past, I think is tremendously exciting. That's where my work lies.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers. Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
Yes, welcome back to the set of The Verdict. We had a little fun in the opening segment with the Tulsa Drillers hats, and for that we are grateful to the general manager of the Tulsa Drillers, Mike Melega, who's our guest today. Mike did his undergraduate work at Syracuse University. In 1996, came to the Tulsa Drillers here in Tulsa and has not left since. He's been continuous with the ball club since that time. In 2006, he became a general manager. He is a board member of the Tulsa Sports Commission. He's involved, as you might imagine, in lots of civic and charitable activities here in Tulsa. This is his first visit to The Verdict. We're really pleased to have him with us. Mike, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's already been fun.
Good deal.
Good to have you here. And by the way, thanks for bringing the hats out for us. Most of our guests don't bring gifts, but maybe we should start that as a tradition, a requirement.
We'll barter. We'll give them a Verdict coffee cup for a gift.
Unfortunately, I have a few things laying around the office that I can bring. You know?
How's the business of minor league baseball?
Oh, the business is really booming right now, Mick. In probably the last 4 or 5 years, minor league baseball, collectively, there's 160 affiliated teams that are affiliated with major league clubs. Those 160 teams have drawn over 41 million fans each year for the last 4 or 5 years. For the last 10 years, it's been really kind of flirting with a record or breaking records every year. The facilities that are being built around the country have become so fan-friendly. You know, there's an evolution of the ballpark, and it's gotten to the point where these architects have really kind of mastered the fan experience at the stadiums, and in turn, attendance is up throughout the country. So the business is good in the individual markets. As a collective organization, minor league baseball, they're out of St. Petersburg, Florida. It's kind of our governing body, and they are always at work to try to leverage the power of these 160 markets that we have, and they're doing a great job for us.
Well, that's quite a success story because, as we all know, there are more things to do than ever before. There is more competition for Major League Baseball or movies or television or whatever you want to do. How is minor league baseball succeeding in this ever-increasing competitive environment?
Well, I think first and foremost, we all focus on trying to be affordable, family-friendly entertainment, and I think that is what most folks with young children are looking for. So we provide a unique form of entertainment. There's so many great things to do out there. There's so many activities for kids. Those are the things that we compete with on a day-in, day-out basis. But what we can provide is unique and special. You think back to when you were a kid and you had that opportunity to go to a ball game with your parents or your grandparents, and those special memories that were formed there. There's just something about going to the ballpark with your family that's special, and when you can do a good job and provide a clean and safe environment at an affordable price, it's a good business model.
The entertainment concept has certainly expanded from what it used to be. Used to be you go to a AA baseball game, be it at that time the Tulsa Oilers or the Oklahoma City Indians, both AA baseball teams. You saw the ball game and that was it. In between innings, you saw people cleaning off the bases, and that was it.
Right.
Now you go out to a ball game and there's something going on, shooting T-shirts up into the stands or whatever it is, something races, something going on all the time that keep the kids and the adults laughing. Is that a big part of the entertainment concept?
It's a huge part of it. There's no question. I always tell people we came from Driller Stadium, which was a beautiful ballpark. It was built in 1981, but that was firmly a 20th century ballpark. It was built to have a lot of seats with a great sight line to watch a baseball game. But there wasn't a lot of space outside of that to do fan entertainment and amenities for kids and so forth. Now these ballparks, these 21st century ballparks, they're built for 9 innings of entertainment, and you don't have to be a baseball fan to enjoy your experience. I would have never thought we'd have a full-time person that handles just what happens in between innings. But we have a guy that does that, because that adds to what we call the show. Every night is a show for us, and our show needs to be different every night, just like your TV show has to be different. And we focus on that, and we invest the dollars and the manpower to make sure that we do the best job for our fans.
What's the most popular between-inning entertainment this year?
Oh, well, we just introduced a new race. You've seen the Milwaukee Brewers. They have their sausage races up there. Well, we kind of have our own little take on that. One of our local appliance centers, Han Appliance, sponsors an appliance race, and we have a giant washing machine and a giant stove top called Ranger, and it's a blast. And we get 3 kids out in there, and they race on it, and they
run
trip
around
over
the
themselves.
bases? Are they running down the foul line?
They're in the outfield from first base to third base is the finish line. So we choreograph it. We have some fun with it. It always gets a charge. But the mascot is the most important thing that we do in between innings. We have the luxury of having a full-time mascot. Our mascot's a blue bull named Hornsby that the fans just love, and we have a full-time guy in there. So he really focuses on how he can entertain those fans with dance moves or videos up on the screen for our fans to enjoy. And we introduced a new friend for him this year called Inflatable. He's an inflatable mascot, and he's about 8 foot tall, and he's quite a presence. The fans love him.
There's somewhat of a difference between a general manager at the major league level and a general manager at the minor league level. At the major league level, there's player development and roster maneuvering to take on. At the minor league level, you take the players that are assigned to you pretty much. I'm assuming you have very little say, if any, about the roster.
Exactly, and that's the way we like it. We can't get blamed when we stink, and we can't get too much credit when we're any good.
Well,
but we'll
take it anyway. Yeah, take it anyway.
Exactly.
But you have fun in both instances.
Oh my goodness, it's the best. No, we focus on. My job as general manager here is more like being the president of a company or a CEO of a business. I'm overseeing the business operation, whereas that similar title at the major league level means contracts and drafts and scouting and all of those types of things. So no, we don't have to mess with that. We get assigned a team from the Colorado Rockies and their player development folks, and then it's our job to make sure that they have the most comfortable environment, and we try to focus on setting up good relationships for them in town and make their transition to Tulsa as smooth as possible.
Well, it used to be that your revenue came from selling a ticket and maybe a hot dog, but it seems like now there's a lot of revenue generating that goes on inside the stadium beyond just those 2 staples.
Oh, for sure. I mean, those are the bottom line, but food and beverage is a big part of not only the revenue of a minor league club, but of the experience for the fans, and that's something that we really focus on tremendously in the off season. We're always trying to introduce new food items. I feel like we've got one of the most diverse food and beverage offerings in minor league baseball. We've got a really wonderful setup along the third base side where we've got about 15 different carts with different offerings, from Mexican food to barbecue to Chinese food we've added this year. So lots of different offerings for those fans that come to 40 or 50 games. We don't want them to have to eat a hot dog and a Cracker Jack every night. They have to have some options. So we focus on that.
You may have anticipated my next question, which was how many home games, not counting exhibition or playoff games, how many home games do you have?
We play in the Texas League, and the Texas League plays a 140-game schedule. So we have 70 home games and 70 road games, and we play those 140 games in about 152 to 155 days. So these guys don't have it as easy as many folks think. They get to play baseball for a living, but boy, they don't get a lot of off days.
Mike Melega is our guest today on The Verdict. We'll be right back.
Hear that? It's the sound of an industry, 83,000 strong, creating jobs for nearly 350,000. A $52 billion a year being pumped into our economy. It's the sound of Oklahoma's oil and natural gas industry, our heart for the state, and our people. And it beats on and on and on.
When you have something important to communicate, it becomes clear that there's a lot of competition for your audience's attention. So how can your message stand out and actually resonate with your audience? Legal Graphics has the answers. The team at Legal Graphics will work with you to plan, design, and even test your presentation to ensure your message will be heard and remembered. Call Legal Graphics today to schedule an appointment. The readiness is all.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mike Melega is our guest today. Mike is the general manager of the Tulsa Drillers, and exciting times with the new facility. I call it new. It's in your, I guess, fourth year, but it still feels new to me.
Well, that's our goal, is to make it feel new to everybody every year as long as we possibly can. So that's really the thrust of what we do from a stadium operations standpoint. But yeah, it's a wonderful ballpark. We're so thrilled to have it. We pinch ourselves every day to get to go work in downtown Tulsa, which is just in an absolute revival right now. When I came to Tulsa 20 years ago, and even as soon as maybe 7 or 8 years ago, after 5 o'clock, Tulsa just was kind of dead after work closed. And there's just a tremendous revitalization, and we're just thrilled to be a part of it.
You know, the ballpark's a big part of that downtown revitalization.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of on the one end of downtown. We're located in the historic Greenwood district, and the ballpark is just a special place for us. I mean, compared to the old stadium, like we talked about earlier, it's so fan-friendly. It's got a 360-degree concourse with beautiful views of the downtown skyline. So fans can, get up during the game after a couple of innings if their kids get antsy and walk around the ballpark, trying to check out the city of Tulsa and be proud of the place they come from. The thing that's the best for me is the kids' amenities that we have at that ballpark. At the old stadium, you'd think 9 innings for a kid. It was very difficult to get a child through that long. But now, you spend 2-3 innings. We have a splash zone in the outfield, so in those hot Tulsa summers that we have, they can go and cool off. Kids are coming dressed in bathing suits. Mom's got a change of clothes and a towel in the bag. It's a totally different way to experience Drillers baseball than ever before. We have a free playground in the outfield as well. So you don't have to love 9 innings of baseball to love 9 innings of One Oak Field.
What other stadia did you look at when you were designing it?
Well, we went out and visited quite a few places. I went on several of the trips. I was able to go to Memphis and check out Memphis. Of course, we've been to Oklahoma City, and we love the Red Hawks ballpark. And we went out to Indianapolis, which is a very similar scenario to Tulsa. It was a city that had a new ballpark put in that had existed in a kind of a midtown type of setting, kind of off in the neighborhood, and they moved to a downtown setting. We went to Toledo, Ohio, and checked out their ballpark. Same type of situation as Driller Stadium, off kind of in the neighborhood, moved to a downtown setting. So they faced a lot of the same challenges that we were going to face. Some of the negatives, the perceptions that folks had about going downtown, parking, crime, safety, those types of issues. And we learned a lot from them. But we went and pick and choose all of the best amenities and the best things that they were doing in their ballparks, and we tried to build a wish list for our stadium, and we're pleased with the way it turned out for sure.
How's the team doing this year?
Team is doing well. I mean, we're playing about 500 baseball, but everybody in our division's playing 500 baseball. I think it's going to be very competitive. So we're sitting there tied for first place as of today.
What other cities are in your division?
In our division, we play teams from Little Rock, Arkansas, the Arkansas Travelers. We play the Northwest Arkansas Naturals, which are located in Springdale, Arkansas, and we play the Springfield Cardinals in Springfield, Missouri.
Right.
And in the South, we play teams from San Antonio, 4 teams in Texas: Frisco, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, and Midland, Texas.
And you're, I think you indicated in the first segment, you're affiliated with the Colorado Rockies.
Correct, and this is our 10th season with the Rockies, and they have been fantastic partners with us. We had been with the Rangers for 27 years, and so we never thought we would have another affiliate, but that happens in baseball. Mm-hmm. And we ended up finding a relationship with the Rockies that's been outstanding, and they've produced an awful lot of major league players through our roster, which we love watching. The Troy Tulowitzkis of the world, and the Dexter Fowlers, and the Willeen Rosarios, guys that are having success at the big league level that kind of figured it out when they were in Tulsa. It's exciting.
What's the AAA franchise for the Rockies, if you recall?
They're in Colorado Springs,
Ah.
so very close, and it's a good situation geographically for them. Mm-hmm. Obviously, just being right down the road. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Any local ties on the roster this year?
We do actually. We have a pitcher named Parker Frazier. He's with us for his 2nd season. He played at Bishop Kelly High School. He's from Tulsa. His dad, George Frazier, is the Colorado Rockies radio announcer, or TV broadcaster, excuse me. Great family. Parker is a great young man. He's having a lot of success this season, and he always brings out his cheering section. There's always quite a few Parker backers at the stadium.
Well, that's helpful, I would assume. How is attendance going?
Attendance is great. We're up over last year. Our first 3 seasons at One Oak Field were the 3 highest attended seasons in Tulsa professional baseball history. And Tulsa baseball history has been around for over 100 years. So it's been a long time coming. So we're enjoying some great success. Right now we're up a little bit over last year, and we have a fantastic schedule coming up this summer, and I anticipate if Mother Nature cooperates, we should have a good season.
Mike, minor league sports, come and go, and people are typically introducing new sports and trying to grab that entertainment dollar. But minor league football hadn't really caught on. Mm-hmm. Minor league basketball has been traditionally a tough sell. I think it's doing pretty well in Tulsa, and with the NBA's kind of involvement, I think the D League is probably has a pretty good future. But minor league baseball's been good for 100 years.
Yeah.
What's the secret there? Why is this product so solid?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. I think baseball, the game itself, really requires further development beyond when you're drafted. Whereas other sports, once you're drafted, you can really get to the next level, or expected to be at the next level immediately, whether you're drafted in football from a college or whether you're a young player that gets drafted in the NBA. If you don't make it right out of the chute, it may be more difficult for you to make it. Baseball, there's a longer incubation process to develop those major leaguers. So guys play an average of probably 3 to 4 years in the minor leagues. So that system is necessary. Those guys are not ready to play at the major league level at a college or at a high school, except in some very, very small instances when you just have a spectacular talent.
Mm-hmm. Something that I don't really understand, and I'm not even sure it's true, but I have heard a couple of major league ball players say that the AA experience was more valuable to them than the AAA experience from the standpoint of player development and from the standpoint of maturation. And admittedly, AAA is a step up, but many major league players give a lot more credit to the AA experience than the AAA. Have you any thoughts on that?
That's a great question, yes. And I'm biased, obviously, because we're in AA.
Yeah.
But from what I hear from folks a lot is that the big leap that you have to make as a player is when you get out of those multiple levels of single A ball to get to AA. You'll see guys that have cruised, pitchers that have cruised through 3 levels of single A ball, and they get to AA, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, the talent level really takes a jump right here. These players at AA are ready to go to the major leagues. We see it all the time. We had 7 players called up directly from Tulsa last year to the major league, skipped AAA altogether, and got activated on the Rockies roster. So these players here, they realize they are ready to go. They have to be ready to play every day. They have to be prepared. They have to be healthy. They have to be fit. They can go right to the big leagues from this level. So I think that that's an important aspect of it too. And then also with the amount of money that you have in the game nowadays, maybe 30, 40 years ago, a guy that gets dropped from the major league roster rather than going down to the minor leagues as a matter of pride, may have walked away from the game at that point. That's my time to walk away. Now, there's so much money in the game, guys do hang on for a little bit longer too. So AAA is a little bit higher average age than ours. You see a lot of guys that have had their chance in the big leagues. AA is truly an on the way up level. The best prospects, you don't really ever see them skip AA.
Escalator goes one way in AA and two ways in AAA.
Exactly right, exactly.
Who are some of the famous major leaguers who had at one time played minor league ball in Tulsa?
In Tulsa, well, I can speak from the Drillers organization mostly. Most recently, guys like Troy Tulowitzki in the big leagues is a perennial all-star. Matt Holliday with the St. Louis Cardinals was another local connection that we had out of Stillwater that played for us, and I think it was our first season with the Colorado Rockies. During our Rangers years, we had a lot of great players that came through. Pudge Rodriguez, Juan Gonzalez, both won MVP awards. We've had Mark Teixeira with the Yankees now. He played for the Drillers on his way up. So it's a host of really, really wonderful players.
What can the citizens of Tulsa, besides coming out to the ballpark, what can the citizens of Tulsa do to advance the cause of the Tulsa Drillers?
I mean, I think the first thing you said is the way that they can do it. They just need to come out to the ballpark and experience it, and if they have a great time, tell their friends.
And how easy is it to get tickets and all that sort of thing?
Oh, it's super easy. We have our website, tulsadrillers.com. You can get tickets there. It's simple. You can buy them on your cell phone now through our Tulsa Drillers app. It's amazing what technology has done. It's easy access for folks to get tickets. They can call the office, obviously, or just stop off at our box office, which is open every day.
And do you encourage group sales for neighborhoods or for church groups or schools?
For sure.
Birthdays. And
That is really the bread and butter of the business nowadays is group sales. Probably one of the greatest things about One Oak Field is the hospitality space and areas for parties that we have in comparison to our old stadium. So yes, groups of all sizes. We serve groups from 20 to 2,000.
All right, Mike Melega is our guest today on The Verdict. Mike, thanks so much for coming on. It's been really a thrill to get to talk baseball for a half an hour here.
it has.
I always love talking. You can have me on anytime. Thank you.
All right,
Come back.
And again, that website is?
www.tulsadrillers.com.
All right, we'll have a final segment when we return on The Verdict.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
All children deserve a life of hope and love, but sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children, helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
You will always be mom and dad to me.
We are a very conservative family, and we believe in old-fashioned family values. We have a loving home there, and we love kids, and we have 5, 6 of our own. And but I had no idea we were going to go into adoption, but it's been very gratifying.
You will always be mom and dad to me.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information. And for almost 30 years, Oklahoma political, government, and business leaders have turned to the McCarville Report for accurate, reliable, inside information. Visit the McCarville Report online.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers, and we were reminiscing during the break. You know, you don't talk about your days as a bat boy for the Oklahoma City Indians very often.
Well, I certainly don't, for a couple of reasons. One, I don't remember much about it. But that was a great experience, double-A bat boy, right in junior high school. It was a lot of fun.
Were you overpaid then as you are now?
$2 a game, $3 for a doubleheader. Yeah, it's about what I make here. It hasn't changed much.
Our guest today was Mike Melega. He's the general manager of the Tulsa Drillers, and it's really refreshing for me to hear about the resurgence in minor league baseball attendance, because you know so many things that have been traditional and so Americana have not withstood the transitions through the years and the advent of the internet and social media, and here minor league baseball is with offering basically the same game our grandparents watched. Doing very, very well.
Yeah, I have reflected on that some and have come to a conclusion that I hope won't take too long to state, but it won't take more than 30 seconds to state, I'm told. And that is that you look at it, the fans in a minor league baseball stadium, and they're relaxed. They're having fun. Their arms are like this, like I said on the set sometimes. And you go to a football game, and they're like this, and the basketball game, they're standing up, jumping up and down. It's a relaxing atmosphere. That's all I had to say about that.
All right.
It's worth it.
It's The Verdict. We'll be back next week with another show. See you then.